Welcome in the In the Money podcast for Saturday, November 10th. Trying to get back from the Breeders' Cup if you had a rough weekend, or parlay your winnings if you did well. Tom Leach here along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Wagering Development, as we take a look at the late pick 4 on the Saturday card at Churchill Downs. And it includes a graded stake, the Grade 3 Commonwealth Turf. And this is for 3-year-olds. Normally this gets a bigger field because it's restricted to 3-year-olds. It's a well-matched group, although not a big field. Jim, where did you land in the Commonwealth?
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't get at least 10 horses in here. It's a 7-horse field, and it's the only graded stakes in the country on Saturday, so it's the best race. It is competitive. I think you can make a case for a number of horses in here. I settled on Hot Springs, the 7, probably going to be the favorite, and deserves to off that last win at Churchill on good turf in the Jefferson Cup on September 29th. Horse tracked the lead and ran down Discovered and Captivating Moon. Comes back with a nice little 6-week rest or so and should be primed. This is the third race off a layoff, and the buyers are very consistent. So I think Hot Springs is going to be right there. You don't know which one of the other horses may step up their game. The 3-year-olds getting better in the winter, in the fall and the winter of their 3-year-old year. So I think March to the Arch, the 4-horse, has been extremely consistent, and occasionally runs a big one. Ran really big in the Saranac at Saratoga, again on good turf. And if he runs back to that, he can probably win with a 93 buyer. He took a step back in the Hill Prince at Belmont, but that was a grade 2 against some tougher races. So maybe he fits better here. Reride the 1 for Giroux. Tried to get on the turf at Keeneland after running in the middle of the pack in the Dueling Grounds Derby at Kentucky Downs, and off the turf was a 1-2 favorite and got beat at the wire by Roaming Union. I think you can just toss that race. You have no idea how that form held up. But if you go back to his turf form, he fits right here. So I think Reride has got a shot as well. That'd be my top 3, probably as deep as I'll go in the pick 4. Could also make a case possibly for Zero Gravity getting better. Again, Zero Gravity comes out of the same off-the-turf race at Keeneland. So that's my top 3 in that order, I guess. Hot Springs the 7, March to the Arch the 4, and Reride the 1.
I ended up on Sniper Kitten, the 3 in here. I know the connections were really high on this one back in the spring when it won at Keeneland, and won a stake in the 4th lifetime start. Then they threw him in at grade 1. He was just over his head in the Secretariat. The last time out at Indiana Grand, got caught wide, and you don't want to be wide there. So I'm going to forgive that race, forgive the one before that because it was a little too ambitious. And so if you draw a line through those 2 races, the form looks really good for Sniper Kitten. Coming off a layoff, which is a good angle, about 20% on this type of layoff for Mike Maker. So I'm going to take Sniper Kitten, March to the Arch, and Hot Springs, the 4 and the 7, are the other 2 that I am going to use with Sniper Kitten. Pick 4 starts in the 8th race. A couple of allowances, then the Commonwealth, and then a claimer to finish up. So my pick 4 ticket in the 8th race, I'm using 3 horses. I like Lasting Legacy for Asmussen, second off a long layoff and working well. I think this horse could bounce back and run better. Spike's Sherrill, I like as well for Dallas Stewart. I'm going to use Curate, 2 for 2 with a couple of big speed figures, but I don't know if that was the strongest field that he beat last time at Keeneland, and I think he could be vulnerable on facing a little bit more salty bunch here, but going to put him on the ticket just in case he's that good. The 9th, I'm going to use 4 horses. Classy John is where I would start in here. This horse won first out for Dallas Stewart, and that doesn't happen often, with an 80 buyer up at Saratoga on Travers Day. I hope this horse, he's bred to be a sprinter, but I hope he makes it to the Derby because our friend John Asher, Classy John, certainly I don't know that he's named after him, but he could have been, and that was the last weekend John was with us that when this horse won up at Saratoga. 8 Nitrous, 5 Hog Creek Hustle, and 4 PH Factor, just out of respect for Larry Ravelli as a dangerous ship-in trainer. I'm going to use those 4. I'm going to use 3, 4, and 7 in the Commonwealth. And then in the last race, kind of just connections plays on a couple of these. Unfading Beauty gets Corey Lannery, the 2. Dial Me, the 8, gets Brian Hernandez and Tom Drury's a high percentage trainer. And then I'm going to use Honor with Pride, the 9. Drops off a good effort at Keeneland at this distance. So 137 with 2458 with 347 with 289 for me, which is a little north of $50 for a 50-cent ticket. How about you?
The horse that you don't know is that good, I think, is that good in the first race. I singled Curate for Brad Cox. I think the fact that he stays with Calvin Burrell here after he rode the horse twice, rather than switching to one of his go-to riders, Giroux is riding for Asmussen in this race with Lasting Legacy. I think Curate looks like inside speed. Nobody else here wants to lead. I think it's if he's came out of this last race at Keeneland anywhere close to 100%, I think he walks here on the inside with Calvin Burrell at Churchill. So I'm going to take a stand, singling Curate in the first leg. I'm going to use two of the horses that you mentioned, Classy John coming out of the Saratoga race for Dallas Stewart, and Nitrous, the 8th, the class of the race. Only ran 3 lengths out at the Hopeful behind Mind Control. So I'm going to use 2-8 there. So I'm taking a stand early. The 10th race where I had picked 3, you talked me into using Sniper Kittens. I'm making mine a little more expensive here, going with the 1-3-4-7 re-ride Sniper Kitten, March to the Arch in Hot Springs, who's my top choice. Last one, I have no idea. So All Button is your friend. I don't have a clue here. I probably 7, 8, 9 were my top 3 choices, probably in that order. Sophie's Angel, Dial Me, and Honor with Pride, but I'm going to go the All Button here. So got 1 with 2-8 with 1-3-4-7 with all for $48. So I stayed a little south of $50 even getting the all in the last leg.
Well, there's nothing like going into the last leg with an all. So good luck on getting there.
Times in my life.
Yeah.
It's usually the favorite.
Obviously,
but,
yes. It always seems like it always is going to be, instead of that 99-1 horse hitting on the all. But best of luck with your Saturday wagers. And if you can't get to your local simulcast facility, the Red Mile here in the Lexington market, then make sure you keep your account funded at KeenelandSelect.com. This has been the In the Money Podcast.